This is Denny Christner with Insure My Food Truck. I want to talk to you today about general liability insurance. Everybody knows you need general liability to get onto a premises to serve your food. Most venues will require $1 million per occurrence and $2 million in the aggregate, but a lot of venues now are requiring even more than that, like $2 million per occurrence, even up to $5 million sometimes. It's not uncommon to see higher limit requirements in bigger metro areas. Why is it so important for you to carry general liability insurance? Not only is it required by those venues, but you want coverage to protect yourself personally and the business in case there actually is a large loss. So what exactly is general liability? Basically, it covers slip and fall around your truck. It covers your product, like your food. It covers your personal and advertising injury. Personal injury would be things such as libel and slander, where you say or do something that offends somebody. Advertising liability is what it sounds like, where you misadvertise your product or service or price. Not very common to have a loss in advertising injury for a food truck, but it is automatically included. Why does the venue require so much coverage? They're worried about you serving on their property and being responsible for bodily injury. You could leave an icebox out, for example, with sodas and waters that's leaking. Somebody trips and falls and wants to sue you and the venue. By adding them as an additional insured, they're getting coverage on your policy as primary versus their policy paying first. We don't see a whole lot of liability claims with food trucks. A lot of people think that because it's a food truck, it's not as safe and that there's going to be food-related bodily injury or foodborne illness, but not necessarily. We've been doing this for several years and have yet to take a foodborne illness claim. A certificate of insurance is basically a piece of paper, a stamp in time that shows you have coverage for these amounts by these carriers on this date. It's really simple, but it's a way for that venue to make sure that you're covered and that they're covered in the process if they're added as an additional insured. Busier trucks are going to get asked for certificates all the time. It's natural if you're serving at several locations. We process hundreds, possibly thousands of certificates every month. Some are more complicated than others, but most we get out within 3 hours. We don't charge for certificates of insurance or additional insureds. It's automatically included on our policy. About the only time you'll see a fee is if the venue or the additional insured wants to be added via endorsement by the carrier specifically. But this is very rare. 99% or more of our certificates don't require a special endorsement. Our general liability is included in what's called a business owner policy or a BOP. We sell a BOP policy in combination with an auto policy in order to get you the best coverage possible. You're more likely to have an auto loss than a general liability loss. The venue, for example, they're worried about slip and fall, but in reality, the bigger exposure is you backing over a pedestrian or hitting somebody or something when you're parking your truck. That's the bigger exposure, and that's what you really need better coverage on. In that business owner policy, it covers property for your loose equipment, your equipment breakdown, your loss of business income, and your inventory. It's a very comprehensive policy that, yes, costs more than a standalone general liability, but it's well worth it. Next time we'll talk about umbrella liability, which is extra liability on top of your general liability, your auto liability, and your workers' comp. In the circumstance where you can't negotiate a lower limit, you need an umbrella policy to get you to the limits required. Hopefully that answers your questions about general liability. If not, please reach out. We're here to help. Thank you.